Welcome to Decktalk, where you will be prepared. Decktalk is a weekly educational show where we bring on pro players, deck builders, commentators, pretty much anybody who's trying to make Hearthstone the #1 rising esport. They bring on a deck, they show you what it does, and hopefully you're better educated for it. Now, past couple weeks, we've put out a challenge to the community asking for new blood. If you've got a deck, we wanted to see it. And this week we have the first person who actually met the 3 very simple requirements needed to be on the show. How you doing, Tarnash?
Hello, I'm doing pretty good. It's a great day. I haven't been laddering much, but I've been using this deck a bit, and it's been working pretty well, so...
Yes. Now, interestingly enough, you went and hit Legend on EU a little bit ago, even though you're an NA player.
I've actually been living in Europe for the last few months, just studying abroad, so been over there. I have friends who played over there, so I just made an account over there and played it way more, so...
So now, as an American player, what were your thoughts of the EU meta?
It's very samey. You're going to run into a lot of net decked hunter decks, while over in the US you have way more like creative decks, like you see Fatigue Druid and Fatigue Mage. You're just not going to see that in EU.
Right.
It's going to be like 6 Hunters, then a Control Warrior. And if you play anything with a good matchup against Hunter, not to diminish myself so early, but it's pretty easy to hit Legend.
Alright, so there you go. Find that deck that beats Hunter, and you will be an EU Legend. Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, so... when I put out this challenge, I wanted people to show me their creativity. I wanted them to show me something, that's good. All right, whether it be a tournament deck, a ladder deck, whatever. And you sent me a shaman deck, which I'm very wary about shamans for a very obvious reason. They're pretty much cookie cutter like a motherfucker, and they really lack much ingenuity. But you actually went a very interesting direction with this. Which actually, let's go ahead and show this deck right now.
Okay,
right.
With shamans, what we've really seen is either total control shaman, where you just don't have an early game, you're going to try to wait till the late game, or you've seen these crazy aggro mech shamans. And I think the problem with both of them is if you're going to do a mech deck, Mage does it better. The Mage deck is just so much better, it's more consistent, so I think that's what Mech Shaman's main problem is that Mage just exists.
Yeah.
And if you're going to go Control Warrior just exists. Like, it's just a better deck. So it doesn't do either of those two things particularly well. And what Shaman has always done and always been good at is mid-range. So this is just a good mid-range Shaman deck, bringing it back to the basics and just trying to make it work.
All right. So now, I'm noticing a couple things here. You do actually have mechs in this deck.
Yep. Power Mace is such a good tempo play that you just need things to play off of it.
I'm not going to deny that. I've had so many brilliant games because of Power Mace. It's not even funny. And look at this, Lightning Bolt over Crackle.
Yeah. So if you really play Crackle, you have to use it as 2 mana for 4 damage. If you try to use it as 2 mana for 5 damage, then like more than 50% of the time, like you're just going to have problems. So you really just have to take the more secure 4 damage. And so if you think if 3 mana for 5 damage isn't worth it, is 2 mana for 4 damage worth it? And I just don't think so. So
right.
I would much rather have the 1 mana Lightning Bolt. Plus, one of the best tempo plays in this deck is to go, if you have the coin, like if you're playing a Hunter, they play just their 1-drop and you go Undertaker, coin, Lightning Bolt, and then you're just in such a huge position just to win the game.
Well, yeah, that's if you pull, the Clockwork Gnome on the next turn,
Just even without it, like you can just trade into a web spinner, or just do any of these like things that just keeps you ahead. Well, if you had Crackle, then you'd just be like Undertaker, pass, and then they kill your Undertaker, and then you're just sad, and then you just kind of get beat out. So.
All right.
Lightning Bolt's just slightly faster, and it's slightly better.
All right.
And
You're running a 1-up Flame Tongue Totem here, so obviously for trade-up value.
If you're gonna play a Shaman deck, you have to worry about the Hunter decks, and it's just this great thing to just trade off your totems into their stuff.
Right.
So we have Defender of Argus in here too, just to like make your totems into threats, and then that's just pretty much how you beat the aggro matchups. Is you use your totems to kill their stuff.
All right. Now, you also are running an antique heal bot, which is kind of interesting because it's basically 8 life to any class that wants to take it, but it's a little bit pricey.
It is. You just reach these games where you're just going to out-control the Hunter, and most of the time you'll eventually take the board back from Hunter, and you'll be at 4 life, and they're just trying to burn you out.
Right.
And the anti-heal bot puts you above that burn level, so it makes them have to win on the field, which does happen, but...
Not very often.
What can you do?
Yeah. All right. So then again, it was your Drake staple, Fire Elemental staple. The Black Knight, interesting tech card. Glad to see it. Dr. Boom. Okay, he's in every goddamn deck. Fuck it, why not?
The 2 boom bots have both Death Rattle, so they trigger your Undertaker, and they are mechs, so they can trigger off Power Mace. So it works on both ends. So, like, I've made 3/3 boom bots before and just beaten people with them.
The Undertaker synergy I've exploited many a times. The Power Mace synergy I've never actually considered viable because they never live.
It's funny when it happens.
Alright, and of course, rounding things out is an Alec here because, well, Neptulon is not all that great.
So Neptulon, the reason Alec here over Neptulon you really have to be control deck to use. Like, if you're not a control deck, then you just can't make use of a 7 mana thing that draws you 4 cards. It's a great card if you're control deck, and if you're mid-range, then you want the immediate board presence. So,
and the one thing that we've learned is that sometimes you just need when you're playing up against certain decks, you're going to be controlling, and you might do a little bit of damage here, but you need that burst to get the game over with, and Alec here gives you that ability. So I definitely prefer that. Alternatively, there's also Doomhammer too, but Alright, so I think we've done enough talking about this, so why don't you go ahead, load up a game, and let's go ahead and switch everything over here.
Okay, to the ladder.
To the ladder!
So, we might get a worthy opponent, we might get a Murloc Fisherman.
Or we might get a Hunter.
It'll probably be a Hunter. Like, all things considered, it's probably going to be a Hunter.
Not to say that Hunters aren't worthy opponents, but they're not. Oh, I'm so going to get so much hell from Toast from that. Oh, God.
It actually is a Hunter, just...
Oh, hold on. Here we go. I'm getting into there, choosing board. Polishing mana crystal or some stupid thing. Finding good seat.
So,
and... Alright.
okay. So, you in?
Yes, I am in.
Okay. This is a pretty easy mulligan. The Alec here is just way too much mana. We're probably going to draw it again before we hit that Fire Elemental. Way too much mana. And the Flame Tongue Totem, it's not removal, and because we have the Undertaker, I'm kind of looking for Death Rattles, so...
Alright.
Just toss those 3 back.
Perfect logical sense there, I mean... and you were not rewarded, though that's a little bit better.
Yeah. It's a little bit better, but we're probably going to hold... So, sometimes you run 3 1-drop... actually 6 1-drop removal spells, and you just...
Don't get any
draw
of them.
any of them.
See, the problem is you play the Undertaker, your Undertaker dies. It's...
This is kind of like the typical Hunter opening of like just put you in a bad position from the start.
Yeah.
This is also why I run Lightning Bolt over Crackle, as if I had a Lightning Bolt right now, then I could just go boom and pretty much win the game from there. Really what I'm debating right now is whether to hero power or not. It would cost the coin, but I have ways to just exploit the hero power totem once it's out there.
Right.
So I am going to go ahead and pass, because if he plays 2 Death Rattles, I'm going to need to hex his 1-drop, which sounds horrible, but... Okay, that's fine. He really, like, it looks scary, but there's not that much power on the board right now, so.
Right now. Oh, look at that. Salvation.
Salvation has come to those who ask for it. Yep. I'm gonna play Undertaker because there's no way to kill it, and I'm gonna go ahead and Lightning Bolt this Duder guy. So, again, if this was Crackle, I'd have to coin, and I wouldn't be using that extra damage. So.
Alright.
I think pretty easy logic. I haven't really run into a position yet where Crackle is just objectively better. Oops, what's he playing? Play Zuka. Tough first game. Gotta get it out of the way fast.
Oh, yeah.
But if you notice, he has no real cards in hand. He's running out of steam pretty fast. Okay, so here's an interesting turn. I'm thinking about hero powering and seeing what I get, and then just after that deciding.
Not a bad idea. Oh, hey, look, that's damn near a taunt.
Okay, so we do have field clears in this deck, so we're fine. He has, again, no real power on the board, so we're not really threatened. We have heals, so. And I do want to save the coin to throw out an Azure Drake next turn.
Yeah, that's actually a really good play because a 4-body will contend with that damn thing.
That thing's fine. Hopefully we get another Lightning Bolt. If we do... Okay. So because he has his 4/4 out there, I'm thinking it might be better to pilot in Shredder.
I would think so too, because it's sticky minion.
We're not low enough life to heal bot yet, so...
Yeah, that'd be wasteful.
We're actually, if you think about it, still above 30 life, so like we're in no real trouble yet, and I do want to save his Hex for that big lion that's about to show up.
Oh yeah, next turn, definitely strong possibility.
Yep.
Alright, that's gotta be a freezing trap.
Yeah, so this turn I do want to anti-heal bot because... Nice. Tough choices. But I'm going to go ahead and anti-heal bot anyway. The question is, do I want to proc that freezing trap? It's going to be annoying no matter what.
Well, if you proc the freezing trap, you've pretty much got almost an uncontestable board. But, I mean, you're in a bad spot either way.
So I can actually just go like super YOLO and just like hex his 4/4, pull out the power mace, kill his guy, and then play a haunted creeper, and that will get rid of his next trap, whatever it is. And then next turn I lay out the anti-heal bot, and then I use the power mace to turn it into a 5/5. So I think that's
not
crazy.
a bad play. I mean, you definitely have the card advantage, and he's overextended very much so. So you could get away with it.
Let's do it. I'm going to go ahead and hex his 4/4, get all the power off the board. First off, let's just check to see what it is. Yep, so we got a freezing trap. And then I'm going to go ahead and power mace. Ah, it's like a power mace. Cards are shuffling around in my hand. Micro. Okay. So yeah, we might even anti-heal bot next turn, heal 8, and
have a 5/5 on the board.
And we get to remove whatever. Yeah, so we were awarded by the... oh, he is kill commanding us, and I have no idea why. Are we dead?
Nope.
No, okay then. I'm fine with him kill commanding us. So...
He went full yellow face.
He did. I'm going to go ahead... Which one of these do I want to kill? Throw out.
I'd kill the 2/1.
I'm debating about which one of these two I want the buff on, the anti-heal bot or the Clockwork Gnome, because I'm going to be throwing both of them out. And I think I want it on the Clockwork Gnome because it's a 1 power or 1 toughness creature, just so it's killable. Just so his web spinner doesn't kill it. I'm going to go ahead and... So, the plan right now is actually to hopefully kill off his
The plan right now is hope he doesn't get 3 more damage, which he did.
Oops. What can you do? Hunters.
Hunter's a hard matchup. I don't care who you are. It's nightmare matchup. There's no skill involved in playing a hunter deck. And if you think there's skill in playing a hunter deck, you know, there's other people you should be watching.
The skill in hunter deck comes from getting that hogger. It's very much a skill-based matchup to get that hogger.
Oh yeah. Yes. Huffer. Alright.
Oh, yeah.
So queue up another one.
Okay. Oop.
I mean, you just got, you know, purely aggroed down. There was, like, nothing you could have done about it, which might be one of the shortcomings of this deck. I mean, you have, like, 1 removal option.
I still have the Lightning Storm I could have drawn. I still have the Taunt Giver Duder guy that I could have drawn. So, like, there were options.
Yeah, there were. And,
For some reason, Hearthstone's taking a while to load.
yeah, your camera's jumping all over the place too, but that's okay.
Standardly still so it doesn't jump.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, there we go. Going through, finding the wordy goldfish, or the whatever. And hoping to not get 2 hunters. Come on, US, don't turn into EU. Show me something cool.
Yeah, no, that one.
I'm actually hoping for a Handlock or Warrior, as this deck has a like 60% win rate versus Warrior and probably like a 65-70 versus Handlock.
Really?
It's crazy good versus those control matchups, especially Handlock, because you can like Hex or Shock, all that stuff. The regular Shaman decks are good against Handlock, but you also have the early game pressure.
Well, I mean, so, you have three things that you could easily use against the giants that are going to pop up. All right, so let's go into spectate.
Okay, so we are a Warlock. I'm going to check how he mulligans, and
that's like the most important thing you have to do.
He kept his whole hand. Wait, did he? Yeah, I think he kept his whole hand, which tells me it doesn't matter anyway because I've got 2 huge drops I want to drop, and I also want to. If he is Handlock, then I want to keep the Power Mace. If he's Zoo, I want to get rid of it because I don't want to be like trading life for creatures if he's Zoo. So I'm just going to throw it all back because if I don't know what he is, I always assume Zoo, so I just don't get aggroed out. Hey.
Holy shit!
I'm okay with this. This is a fine opening.
Well, you're about to find out real quick what he is. Because, I mean, he has to respond to that instantly. So, Voidwalker, it's Zoo. Uh-oh.
Okay, well, this is I would love to say, like, this is what the deck does, but this is a pretty cool opening hand, I can't lie. So, what's he gonna do? That's fine. Oh man, I'm so sad that my Undertaker went away. I really wish I had
will you do?
So, just a quick thing. I decided to not go super greedy and play both Undertakers first because it just kind of fit her better to do.
Well, I mean, if this was Handlock, you getting nailed by the, you know, oh, here's my ancient watcher, have a shadow flame.
This could still be Handlock.
It is.
Oh. There we go.
Oh, but look at that. You actually... Ooh, that's actually pretty nice.
I'm just going to drop Piloted Treader, stay on curve. He's going to trade it in, which is not the best, but whatever. I'm just going to go super aggro, super ham. Now the difference between like this deck and like other aggro decks is that I've got the Dr. Booms and all that. Ooh, okay.
Wow. Really? That was the option? Why?
Hey,
okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and Azure Drake right now. Keep that card draw going, keep the aggro going. I got a Fire Elemental for next turn.
Oh, I know why he did it. Incoming Mortal Coil.
Hey, that's fine. If he Mortal Coils right now, like, he cannot play a Mountain Giant. He can't play a Molten Giant. He can play a Molten Giant.
He can play a Molten and Mortal Coil.
But If he plays a Molten Giant, I'm more afraid of him taunting it. Because,
Right.
like, okay, so then he can taunt it. I can go ahead and kill it anyway. Okay,
Oh!
now he can't. I think I just win. Do I have lethal? 7, 8, 9. Yep, I have lethal.
Do it.
Count lethal. Always count lethal because counting is good. I actually had a little bit over lethal. And yeah, Handlock is a fantastic matchup for this deck. You're just so aggressive, so you stay on the board so hard that yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Against other aggro decks,
It's okay.
against control decks, eat it. So, you know, it balances out, I guess. I mean, every deck is going to have weak points. It's going to be where it's good against some stuff and it's weak against others. Hunter, unfortunately, is...
Yeah, you can beat Hunter. It's not like an unwinnable matchup by any means, but you just definitely need the correct cards, and you need them to not get a really good opening.
Oh.
He didn't have the best opening, but I think that had I just drawn the Lightning Storm or any of those Defender Vargas, I would have probably done much better.
Oh, yeah. It's always that, if I only got this card.
Yeah.
There's so many times I've said that, and then, you know, went back and went, yeah, well... If only you'd played these right numbers, you'd be a millionaire. So
yeah, I'm glad I got to show off the Handlock matchup because that's really where this deck just shines and just goes.
And you know, Handlock is actually way more relevant on the NA meta than it used to be. I mean, they're popping up for me at least like every 4th game. So
yeah,
not bad.
No, this deck has probably a little bit higher than 50% win rate. Like it does pretty good work.
All right. So now we get to move on to this phase where we get to talk about our guests here. Yes, if you'd like to follow Tarnash here, you can check him out on Twitter, you know, at TarnashDecks. You could also check out his Twitch, twitch.tv/TarnashDecks. Yeah, pretty simple to find this guy.
Yeah, so on my Twitter, what I like to do is, I think here's my deck list thing is a little overdone on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So I like to do like tournament lists and then talk about how tournament lists work together, like how you run a Flare in a Hunter deck game 1, and then you'll veto Warlock, so you force them into either playing a Hunter deck, which you have the Flare, so you're advantaged, like just how whole tournament lists interact with each other rather than just individual deck lists.
All right. So. Well, no, that's always cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, thanks for coming on the show, man. It's always good to get like fresh perspectives and not see the same 5 people over and over again.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for having me.
But so you've been playing the game a bit. So, and I've been asking this a lot of my guests. Would you say GVG has revitalized Hearthstone to some degree?
Yeah, it got pretty boring. All the decks were. There were only like 4 decks that people were playing, so I'm kind of glad that now it's just totally crazy. And like right now the meta hasn't been figured out, so like you can just come in, design a deck, and have it actually be good.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no objective best deck yet. So.
No, I am getting quite annoyed by Paladins.
Yeah. Okay. There's one objective best deck.
Yeah. And I wouldn't say Paladins are objectively like a great class. It's just that muster for battle is just so fucking annoying.
So good.
I mean, if you're not running Flame Strike, if you're not running Hellfire, if you don't have a board wipe instantly on demand against Paladin, you're getting wrecked so hard at like turn 8. That's like nightmare scenario. But those things do exist and they are out there, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see Flame Strike getting a little bit more popular. Hellfire, Soul Flames, who knows? So, alrighty. Well. Remember, everybody, the show is for educational purposes. If you think you got what it takes to be on Decktalk, like this guy here, then shoot me a line. My email will be in the description. All right? Here's all you need. 1, a good deck list. It doesn't even really have to be all that good. Just be able to play it. Show us how it works. All right? 2, have a webcam. Kind of important here as this is a video show. Be a little bit, good with your connection, because sometimes I've had people try to be on the show, and yeah, I'm sorry, dial-up's not going to work. I wish I was joking on that. I really wish I was joking on that. Alright, and the third and final thing, just kind of be able to speak English so I can at least talk to you. Alright, that's pretty much all you need. Alright, so send me what you got, and if I like it, I'll be in contact with you. So, other than that, if you like these shows, please like, subscribe, repost it, tweet it, Reddit, do whatever you got to do. This is all for the community and educational purposes. The more it gets out, the better for them. So, thank you again so much for being on, Tarnash. I loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. So, till next week, ladies and gentlemen, have fun, be safe, and for those of you who are living in a more frigid climate, Florida is very warm this time of year. Take it easy.